Hello and welcome to the virtual Jewish Thought of the Week. This is Rabbi Lewin speaking to you from downtown Dallas, Texas. There is a famous verse in Proverbs, in Mishlei, which speaks of personal relationships. And it says, Kamaima panim el panim, kein leva adam el adam, which loosely translated is just like water mirrors the face, just like when you look into a mirror you see your reflection, so too the heart of one person to another. Now what this is saying in general is that the response that you get from other people in a relationship is often dependent on the effort you make or the initiative you take. However you present yourself, the face that you show to the world is the reflection that you're going to see back. So you have two separate entities, two separate people, two separate parties, and they meet and interact, and the desired goal is for there to be a connection. But in order for that to happen, one of those parties has to take the first step to send a sign or create an opening. When they do that, it's up to the other to recognize that and say, okay, I see the person, it could be subconscious, I see the other person has sort of sent me a sign that they would like to progress further or connect, and I welcome that and I'm going to take it, and that's how all relationships, all connections really begin. Now the question is, when it comes time to the more abstract relationship, the personal relationship that we have with God, who takes the initiative? Is it that we work to try to force that opening, to try to connect? And then when that happens, when we act accordingly, then we sort of get a sign from the heavens, then God sort of shows us that He's involved in our lives. Or the opposite, does God sort of send us some kindness, blessing, miracle, and then we recognize that and we say, oh, okay, so let me respond. How does it work? The answer is it can happen both ways, depending on the person, the circumstance. Sometimes we make the effort and God responds. Sometimes we're shown a sign from above. We get this inspiration and we respond in kind. But there are general times of the year that are ripe and auspicious times for our effort. And there are times of the year, months of the year, where we sort of get more assistance from above without us necessarily earning it. This month is a new month in the Jewish calendar. It is the prime month for our effort, known as Elul. So Elul is the time when we take the initiative. This idea is actually hinted at in a verse in Song of Songs, which Shir Shirim, which many people see on a ketubah, I'm to my beloved and my beloved is to me. The first letters of each word in Hebrew spell out Elul, which is this month. So what is that? How does that work? I am to my beloved, that's our initiative. My beloved is to me, that's God's response. And when is the most auspicious time when we begin the process, when we're given assistance to sort of work from below to above? That's the time of Elul this month. What this means practically is that every day of this month is a unique opportunity for us to build and get ready and prepare to get in spiritual shape, so that when we stand on the day of Rosh Hashanah, we don't all of a sudden look around and say, oh, I'm inspired by today. What do I do? Where am I coming from? What do I want this year? How do I get the blessing for a good, sweet, healthy new year? We've already done the work in this month to lay the foundation. Now, what does this work entail? There are many aspects to this type of preparation, and today we're just going to narrow in on one of those. In general, this month is known as the month of accounting, of spiritual stock taking, where we review our actions, the details of our lives. We get things in order, we look at the mistakes that we've made, and we make resolutions for the future. But that's a general idea of repentance. More specifically, many people can look back at a certain time in their life and they say, wow, I was so fresh, I was young, I was inspired, I had this goal, and there's certain things that remind them of the way they used to be, and they say, I lost that. Somewhere along the lines in the busy schedule of the day, preoccupations with earning a living and distractions and grocery shopping and shows to watch, you feel like I lost that sense of motivation, that perspective that I had before. The good news is that this is the month to get that inspiration back, to fix and repair the past. How does that happen? The advice of the sages is that just like when you lose a physical object, so what do? You retrace your steps, all the places that you went, and until eventually you find it. So too, on a deeper level, when you feel like you've lost yourself, when you've lost that inspiration, what one has to do, and this coincides with the idea of accounting, is to retrace your actions, whether it be over the past few months or over the past few years, and try to determine when and what caused you to lose that vision. The message to take home in this month of Elul, the month of accounting, is to retrace our steps, review who it is that we want to be, where we lost that vision or dream, and how to get back there, the necessary resolutions to get back there. Now, usually what we'll find when we do this is that there are one or two things, specific things that are holding us back, and all we need to do is eliminate those things, whether they're internal obstacles, people, environment, whatever. There's usually something very specific that is keeping us back. And what we'll also find is that there are certain vitamins, psychological, spiritual vitamins, that we aren't getting anymore that maybe we used to get. And if we integrate those into our lives, that will also infuse us with that inspiration and that memory and that vision of what we had before. There are many pleasures in life. There are short-term physical pleasures, pleasure from food, there are higher level pleasures, pleasures of music, of understanding. Now, the deepest pleasure comes from personal change. When we, with our own hands, are able to find our flaws and say, look, these are the distortions I developed. But instead of just resigning ourselves, saying, what do you want from me? This is the way I am, nothing much I can do. There's so many other things I have on my plate. Instead of having that attitude, when we're able to go back and to review our actions and to fix and build ourselves up to become different, that idea of change in a positive sense is the deepest type of pleasure, when we emerge fresh and say, you know what, I'm a new person now. Thank you for watching, for your time. If you like this, please forward it to anyone you think would be interested. I would love to hear your feedback, comments, questions. And if you would like to sponsor or dedicate a video, please email me at the address below. I look forward to speaking with you next week.